You know what I'm saying? As much as I wanted to be upset today, though, about it, like, but I'm learning that I have to pick my battles well. Just choose your battles and stick to them. So.
You did.
Yeah. But I mean, at least I'm here. You know, I'm here now in the moment.
Everything works out.
Everything works out. Yeah. When that happened, I'm like, you know what? We hosted Leslie there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We hosted my doula, bro.
And see, that's how you fight. That's how you fight the battles too, though. Like to keep the positivity going. You fight the negative with the positive. Like, all right. So what I could do to override this situation so it won't affect me in a negative way.
Right.
You definitely could have took this another way and just had a negative day and didn't think of nothing positive to do and just be like, I'm gonna just be stuck in this mood. And let them control my mood until I get my child. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Cause they know what they're doing. But
co-parenting is such a amazing, challenging, truthful experience.
No cap. Weird too.
So weird.
But hey,
thanks.
This is the Third Out 5 Just Survive audio podcast.
Hey,
welcome y'all. I appreciate y'all tapping in. New heights, new levels. We have a special guest today.
Hey.
#1 doula in the world.
What?
Mother of all mothers, the mother of the universe. That's what I call her. I ain't lying, bro. Yo, Leslie, mother of the universe, where you at? I'm about to link up with you right now. Not for real. So, Leslie Kofi, yo. You can find her on IG, on Instagram. Really amazing doula. I mean, she was my doula for my daughter, and oh my God. I could never talk, like, it's never enough to talk about my experience about doing the home birth with Leslie Kofi, you know? So, it was amazing, challenging, but beautiful all at the same time, for real. So I'm so honored to be here with you on the show, for real.
It's crazy.
And how things work out. But.
Yeah, good things.
So your last name is Kofi?
Cuffy.
Cuffy?
So it's like coffee.
Oh my God.
With a U.
Oh, by the way, she makes the best coffee. It's amazing. French press.
I don't know. I don't know what the creator is trying to tell me, but I swear I just keep coming across Cuffy though.
Coffees.
You know, cause
there's a lot of
stepdad-
coffees here
my stepdad
in Virginia, especially the 757, right?
Yeah.
They're like a tribe, right? Is it?
And the guy I do business with, another podcaster I work with, his name is Ty Cuffy. And my stepdad, that's why I asked you if it's Kofi, cause he a Cuffy, but he used Kofi as an African name.
Yeah.
That's his African name that he found.
Right.
Yeah. Stuff like that, man.
It's one other way that the ancestors like to speak with us and to put us through comfort is through comforting situations, or you know how we were saying earlier, you and I were talking, it was things that Creator would say to say, get the heck out of there.
Yeah. Like, what you doing here?
What are you doing here? Because this is the same thing. Haven't you learned?
Yeah.
You know, but then other
it's like
things.
repeated patterns. It happens a lot. Does it?
Tell me. You tell me. So yeah, you know, and yeah. So Cuffies, they do. We go way back. I married into the Cuffies like over 30, close to 30 years ago, and I was married for 20 years to a Cuffie.
To a Cuffie.
Yep.
They're big out here, bro.
And all the Cuffies say, you earned your name. Don't change it. Don't change it. You know. He said, I want it back. They said, don't change it.
Wow.
Don't change it. So you earned that. So yeah.
So
how long have you been here in the 757? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My whole life. I've been here my whole life. I have born and raised in Portsmouth and in Chesapeake.
Portsmouth, Pistol City.
Pistol City, boy. Pistol City, son.
Cried up.
That's where I'm from.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
One of the moments again. Well,
you know?
So what area? Because my dad was in 62 Decatur.
I was getting ready to say around Decatur. Do you know where Decatur is? So Decatur, map, all that, yeah.
Wow.
But see, I'm maybe a little older than you.
Yeah.
So I was there when the dinky pool was there. You remember the dinky pool?
Nah, I don't know no dinky
So
pool.
we were still integrating at that time.
Really?
Integration, absolutely.
Okay.
And so it was a pretty wild time to live through it too, because they shut the pool down because we don't want black people in the pool. And I'm like, well, y'all mess it up for everybody, for all the children. You're not letting none of us be children because you have so much hate for this child.
So was that pool where Carter High School was at?
Right across the street.
Wow.
Right across the street, and then they were integrating the pool, the Moose Lodge. And the same thing, they ended up shutting that pool down. We don't want that here. And I was like, this is my first time here. Y'all shutting it down. So I got to, I've always seen things from my own eyes.
Yeah.
And,
Wow,
the purity of a child. I don't understand adults sometimes. Like, they're weird.
Yeah.
And so here we are, adults, seeing other adults that have grown into those adults.
Right.
And, and so here we are, like these children that saw things out of different eyes.
Yeah.
And it's
now we the adults growing up and all that.
Yeah.
But still got them eyes. Real talk.
Someone's trying to tune in. They're trying to tune in, but they're having difficulties to, like, I don't know, get on the Twitch page.
What's the difficulty?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna see right now.
There.
Like, we could take calls too. Like, if anyone wants to call in, if you want to give your number out, because we're gonna have some interesting topics about home birthing, what it is to be a doula, what do doulas do, what do they experience. So if anyone has any type of questions or anything like that.
A lot of people like to know, how did you get into this? And first and foremost, I always wanted to be a wife and a mother. That was my biggest dream in the world. Not to be a ballerina, not to be this, that, or the other, but to be a wife and a mother. And my dad always said, you always have long hair, you've always worn dresses, my beautiful girl,
Yeah.
And you cook like Granny for me, when you cook like Granny. And that was so influential in my life. And so that was what made me feel good, was to be that motherly figure. And ever since I was a little girl, people looked at me as the motherly figure.
Yeah.
And the brownies, no matter where I went, mama, mama, mama is what people would call me. In the community, some people call me Mother Earth. So anyhow, my girls were getting older, and I said, if you ever have something to say to me, sit me down and say, Mom, this is real serious. We need to talk to you. And my girls sat me down one day, my oldest one with the youngest one in tow said, Mom, we need to talk to you. Will you sit down? I said, yeah, sure. I didn't say all that. I just sat down and I listened. She said, you're too good of a mom. We need you to step back. We want to scrape our knees. We want to make bad friends.
Wow.
And you're always there. You will never let us fall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've done my job. And they're getting older, and I need to come back a little. I took her serious. I took my girl serious. And I
Even when they got older, you're saying you had to come back. When you got older, you still playing a mother role.
Yeah, I'm mothering you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Tell me what you were telling me. Yes.
Yeah.
Forgive me. So anyway, yeah, they still need their mother always, but we are on a whole nother level. So anyway, that's when I realized that it's time for me to start looking into a career, what I need to do with myself. So I prayed on it. Creator, what am I supposed to do with myself? The marriage is not working. My children are growing. I've given it all to them. What more do I have to do here in this lifetime?
Right.
And raising them was not easy because there was opposition coming from every way. Having a blended family, there was always opposition from every side in a blended family.
So, all right. So, because I know a lot of people probably dealing with that, with like opposition and like trying to balance themselves and who they are and still raise kids and stuff like that. Especially if you have like more than one. I know it's definitely a challenging thing, like to able to do. So how was you able to deal with that? Like you experiencing the oppositions coming in different ways and angles and like stuff like that, because I know that's like probably a big thing that people should know how to handle, especially trying to raise kids and stuff. Like how you handle that?
That's a very open question. Because there was no one way to handle it.
Right.
And a lot of times it was keeping my mouth shut to protect the children.
Yeah.
A lot of times it was sitting on my hands and zipping my lips because anything I said can or will be used against me in a court of law or anywhere. Because, the blended family was not just men and women. Now we have black, white, and everybody in this.
Right.
We don't like you to this. We don't like you to that. We don't like, each side coming in, and then who gets the brunt of that but the mixed child?
Right.
You're too white, you're too black, you're too this, you're not white enough, you're not black enough. And so coloration, right? And a lot of people don't talk about that,
It's okay.
A lot of people don't talk about coloration.
Yeah,
we
that's
talk about
what
racism, but we're not talking about coloration and what it does, like, you go there, you don't belong here. We don't want you,
Right.
And I have.
You're not dark enough.
You're not,
You know what I'm saying? Like.
Or you're too. Why are you talking that way? One side's going, why are you talking so black? The other side's,
right.
Why are you talking like your mother?
Right.
And so.
Why you talking like your mom?
I can only imagine, cause I hear, I have friends that's mixed and stuff like that, and I have a baby mother that's mixed as well, and they always talk about that, like the battle of living life as a person that's light skinned, because they have to go through that.
And everybody's going through their own
battle.
battle.
Right.
White people going through their own battle. Black people going through a whole lot of battles.
Whole lot.
And then the mixed child going through both battles.
Right. That's I can't imagine just dealing with that. Is another just dealing with one. You dealing with both sides. It's like a tug of war. You don't even know what you want to be anymore, because everyone's have a certain feeling about you because you're not what they expect you to look like.
We can't go based on people's feelings, what they feel about us. It's about what we were talking today. It has to be more within you. Those who feel it know it. You know what I'm saying? We spoke about that.
I will say that I took the approach I took of it was, I'm here to learn, and it's time to shut up, and it's time to hear, because. And I realized through that is, what are people going through? And that gave me grace for my own mother, because the black family is that's your only mother. You don't talk about her. And so through the grace of the black family, right? Don't talk about your mother. And so that kept me with an open mind to my own mother to say, even though she's doing things that I don't agree with, she is the way I chose to come through. And so I give my mother so much love and grace. And through that, people will learn around you. And through that, I got to look at her, and what it was listening without judgment and going, I don't know what she went through to get here. She's Puerto Rican. They whitewashed us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because and somebody might look at that like, yo, they whitewashed you. That's blah blah. Well, she did it. Maybe their family did that to protect us because they saw what was going on.
Right.
We want to protect y'all. We want to whitewash because we don't want to look like this. Matter of fact, don't tell them you're Puerto Rican, because if they know, they're going to call you this.
Right.
And they're going to treat you like that. And I'm like, but I'm proud of who I am.
Right.
And I'm cultural. My grandmother teaches me culture.
So you're Puerto Rican? Okay. And my son's Puerto Rican.
So Boricua. Taino. So yeah. I know my roots. I know where I come from, all the way back, all the way down. Even to the Congo.
That's why you always called me Alejandro.
No, it wasn't. It was Carlos.
It was Carlos. You always called me Carlos. My name is not Carlos. Oh my God, that's funny.
What is your name? You said, my man, Carlos. I mean, you
Carlos. She kept on calling me Carlos the first time she met me. She's like, oh, Carlos. I'm like, dang, you trying to be with a Carlos?
How many times I called you that? 20 times before you said Leslie.
20 times.
My name is...
What? Oh, I love Leslie, man. Mother of the universe, bro. Mother of the universe. Oh, yeah, man. You can't get mad.
I got my free pin. I got souvenirs from this place,
How long have you been a doula, man? How long have you been in the doula game?
oh my gosh. So my girl sat me down, right? And so I prayed on it, and I started looking around. Anyway, long story short, I had one of my sisters, you know, I was like, yo, I think I'm supposed to be a massage therapist like you. She's like, sister, welcome, welcome. Her deep Jamaican accent, you know. Welcome, you'll be great. And I went, that's not it. So I was holding these things at the potlucks. Did I tell you this story?
The potlucks.
Potlucks at the park. We would all have vegan food, vegetarian food, and our children would get together. Did vegan, vegetarian 30 years. And so, yeah. And so the children would, our children got along better than anybody's children. So this was a big one. So many people came. And I said, everybody stand up and say who you brought. And a mutual sister said, you know, I'm Christine. This is Sister Vicky. They'll always be a part of my story. And she was like, she was my doula. And I went, that's the same woman I said, I think I'm supposed to be a massage therapist like you. She was also a doula.
Yeah.
Oh, what is that? Oh, professional labor support. And I went, that was it. I couldn't hear anything else. That was what I knew I was supposed to be doing. Didn't know what it was. Went to the library that Monday, took every book with the index, doula and midwife in the index, which was 9 books and mostly about midwives. But now we have like 900 books out there about doulas, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is how far it's come in this short amount of time. And I knew that.
What year was this?
This was years ago, like almost 20 years ago.
Dude, that's 2 decades.
It's almost 2 decades ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like, it was, you know, not yet a household name, not yet everybody was doing it. And then I started reading about it and looking into it and combining the things that I knew, and I never looked back. And so I started attending births, and the very first baby I was with was like an initiation birth. That baby died.
Wow.
That baby died, and everybody said,
And it died?
The baby died.
Jeez.
And that mother will tell the story, and she's so forever grateful for my presence there at that birth. And I made sure she held her baby, you know. Oh, you put your baby in her hands and cut his hair. I said, do his first haircut. We're going to have all of his first right here today. His first haircut.
His first haircut. Yo.
Everything was right there. I
That's
took
so
pictures
real.
of everything. We held on to him for like 8 hours.
Wow.
And
they spent time with him, and
she did, a single mom. And she spent time with him and loved on him and just cried with him. And she wanted him so bad, and I cried for her for years.
you can't like say like what went wrong, or I mean like the creator wanted, like things happen for a reason, right? Could you say that, Leslie?
Yeah.
Or like being a doula?
I will not say that, but what I will say is I thank him all the time. Thank you.
You're thankful.
I thank him for his sacrifice.
So that's like abundance of
I
like
thank
just
her for
gratitude.
her
You're in gratitude.
sacrifice. Yeah. In gratitude, because.
But what happened with this? Like, not to go too deep into it, but were there complications with this lady? Like, is that why the sister lost her child, or was there like, what was the cause?
I will say that the midwife.
Unless you can't talk about it.
I really don't like to, but I will say that the midwife turned her license in, so she didn't, and she did well, and because she turned her license in, she didn't have to go before the Board of Medicine.
Oh, the one that was involved in the birth. Wow.
Yeah, but moving forward, you know, I believe that he gave a great sacrifice, and in this sacrifice, I found to never go against my intuition.
Wow.
And so, because in communities in general, people can be catty. And when I came into this work, they said, you know, it's a catty community, and I don't want to get too much involved in that.
Right.
And so when one person was saying, watch out for this, another person was saying this, and when I did my own research, I found out that they didn't like each other's organization. So
wow.
So I was like, well, I'm gonna just do this, but something told me do this, and I went with that. Just be with her. Just be with her. And then there were other intuitions that were clouded by the 2 feuds. And so in that, a new, very, very virgin to this, right? My very first time besides being with family. You know, I wish that I would have had less cattiness and more, we're in this for the right reasons.
Right.
You know, and that's where I am
In the
with this
birth.
today.
In the birth.
In the industry, because in any industry you can get, you know, I'm not judging. I don't want to judge. I want to say people get burned out, and a lot of things when we talk about race, right? We're talking about a system, systemics. We're not fighting against people. We're fighting against a system.
Yeah, you said that today.
It is a system, right?
System.
It is a system. When we're in the hospitals, you have people that got
La
in it
sistema,
for
hombre.
all the right reasons, right? Listen to me,
Right.
fellas, right?
Dale.
Come with me, right? Stay with me for just 1 minute. When people get into this in the hospitals, they're in it for a reason, right?
Right.
They want to help people, or they want the money, right? That's good money.
Yeah.
Anesthesiologist is the highest paying.
It's really good money.
You think so? But sometimes you really get in there, and when they start seeing certain things, you know, it's in the literature is racist literature.
Wow.
So if you go and read it, in the literature it says black people don't feel certain things, babies don't feel, right? And so people are learning this because they're not in the culture, right? They don't live this life, so they're like, whatever I'm reading. And so they could be hurting people off of because they read that in a book. And some people will say, well, we need representation. I said, absolutely we do. We all need representation. You know, I never wanted to go to a psychologist because they didn't look like me, as in with locks. With locks, it didn't matter the color. It meant, do they look like me spiritually, right? And so, you know, a woman may go to someone that, oh, I need a black doula, a black midwife, a black this, a black that, but are they in it for the right reasons?
Yeah.
Let's stay focused. Let's stay focused on why we are here.
Facts.
You know, this is my daughter you're serving. And you know, one lady came to me and she says, my doctor's black and she wants me to have a C-section. I'm like, for what? Oh,
Off rip?
You know, off the rip.
Yeah.
And,
that's crazy.
And I said, when you go back for a C-section, you're gonna have all white people. And she goes, she wouldn't do that to me. She's black. I said, ask Kendrick Lamar. Yo!
Ask Kendrick Lamar,
you know,
bro.
and her man was like, that's what I told her, and that's why I had her hire you.
Right.
So why are we here? Why are we here? Not everybody thinks like me.
Right.
I understand that I am very unique. I am into my own.
Into your own practice.
Into my individuality, my originality. Who am I? I listen to me. I sit with me for a long time and source, right? And so that's something I learned raising children is everybody was saying, I beat them. I do this. You take them to the restroom and you just, My children weren't thriving. I was like, okay, everybody's watching me. Everybody wants to take my children away from me. Everybody, because they don't want us to mix.
Yeah.
So I'm all right. Listen, I gotta spank you, right? So I'm gonna do what 3 times, okay? You know, so I'm like trying to prepare them. And then when I do that, then no more. And they're like, woo, 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 woo.
Yeah.
I'm like, now I'm fighting with you to get 3 licks in, you know?
Yeah.
And so, and then like they weren't thriving off of that. So I said, okay. And then one, you know, what I thought was my support said one day, oh, I'd kill him. And I'm like, I've been listening to the wrong people, right? I'd kill him, I'd be under the jail if my child acted like that. All right, what do my children need? What are my children telling me? How do I raise them?
Right.
Without everybody's influence.
And you see, like,
because
I feel
it used
a lot
to be
of parents don't
tribal,
think
right?
like that. Yeah.
It used to be tribal, and in the tribe, like West Africa, Sambunfusam is a person I really look up to. And she said she's here to the keeper of the rituals. Her and her husband just passed. They have many books out. There's a video called What Babies Want on YouTube. Check it out. She's in the video, but she talks about going, you know, being in that village mindset.
Right.
Everybody cared. You know, when you were born, everybody was mother. Every woman was mother. Every man was father. Not cousin, not brother.
Yeah.
It was mother and father.
That's
and
like some unity right there. That's
she
like
chose
unified
the
to
woman
the
in
T,
her
bro.
tribe. She chose the woman in her tribe that didn't have children to be her mother. And that was who resonated with her soul, right?
Right.
With that, if anybody another thing I should say, if anybody in the community was hurting, in trouble, sitting alone, everybody marched themselves right over to that person. And they didn't leave until that person was okay. You got a leak in your roof, we don't leave till that's fixed.
Yeah.
You don't have this, it's like the old
You feel
native
like
ways,
that's
right?
not here these days, huh?
We could if we unify.
We could if we unify, yeah.
We could if we unify, right?
The system that messed all that up. People don't even want to do that.
Why are we even talking about that? Why are we not just doing it?
Exactly, yeah.
And I know we have like Move, right? Have you heard of Move, like in Philadelphia? The Move organization, they had John Africa, they had an organization in Philly, and this was, I think, back in the 60s, 70s. Some of y'all out there know what I'm talking about. So they had, they were all eating vegan, vegetarian, the right to bear arms, but they were black.
Right.
And so, what's his name, J. Edgar Hoover, it was like a big political movement, came in and started shooting up the place, bombing the place, right? Terrorists, domestic terrorism, right there in Philly from the government that didn't want people to unify. They were saying, we want our children to eat all organic, healthy, we're gonna homeschool them. Our Social Security, we were talking about this earlier too, they get so much money per Social Security, right?
Right.
They gonna don't shut us down. Because this is all public knowledge. It's all public knowledge. Anybody can go out and find it. You can Google it. You can do anything.
It. Prophet Google.
We gotta fight for everything now these days.
And if anything, just listen to yourself. What feels right? Does it feel bad to my soul? Does it feel good to my soul? Some of those old sayings that the elders would say, it feels good to my soul, right?
So you did say from that first experience when you were in the home birth, it taught you how to follow your intuition.
More than ever. Because
just
now
to
we're
recap,
talking life
it's about
and
intuition.
Death. It is all about intuition.
That's how you, as a doula, once you learn that, you kind of, you thrive better when you know your intuition.
In life.
In life, yeah.
In life, everything in life, when you listen to your intuition, when you allow people to be themselves like our children and nurture that seed and water it, that you don't have to do much for that plant, but just make sure it's nurtured, right?
Right.
Nurture it, and you don't want a whole bunch of nasty noise around because that's going to hurt it. It's not going to grow correctly, right?
Right.
So what feels good? What feels right? And let's do more of that. I stopped listening to what everybody else was listening to. I just started listening to my frequency music and all of those things. And going to sleep.
You got to change it up, yeah.
Waking up in prayer, going to sleep in prayer. And prayer is just my talk with the Creator, And then when that intuition is your angels, it's everything speaking to you.
Right.
And what's going to be is going to be.
It's going to be.
So.
And it just is.
Ashe, right? So. Absolutely.
Wow.
And so from that first experience is don't ever doubt your intuition again. Grow your intuition.
So do you feel like that started your spiritual journey, or that's a whole separate process that happened?
I want to say I've always been, I want to say spiritual, but I would say had to kind of figure things out on my own. I always like to reinvent the wheel, and now I'm more just give them the answer they want so you can pass the test to get just get it over with. And outside of this, make it your own, right? So my spiritual journey, I think it started one day. I was smoking some herb and it was years and years ago, and we always heard you had to come a certain way before God, and I saw this big light, and I was like, I'm so embarrassed, I'm so high, right?
Yeah.
But
we in a legal state. It's Virginia, 25%.
But that was that was when I really, really got into my spirituality, and then realized it doesn't matter. There's they speak from manna from the sky. We think that's shrooms, manna. So, it's all in the scriptures. We were talking about that earlier too. The breastplate had crystals on it, gemstones, that they followed the stars,
Yeah.
So, I like all the texts. Like I said, the Quran, the Bible, every sacred text You know?
They are the same, but just different.
Yeah.
You know, it's all relative. And like I was telling him earlier, a friend of mine said, somebody asked him, like, what do you think of the Bible? He said that people can talk about things for a really long time.
You did say
a
that.
really long time.
Yeah.
People still talking about that, you know.
What's your normal experience like? I mean, probably every birth is different, obviously, with its challenges and hardships and stuff like that, and even like the delivery is different, or could you say they're similar?
I would like to say that everything is like a thumbprint.
Thumbprint.
And that's what I'm, you know, and everything is so unique, and people should be treated as such and not as a pipeline, not just going through. It's not about that so much as it is about the sanctity of it, and you know, holding that space for the father that's going to call to prayer in the baby's ear, holding that space for the Hindu woman that's going to chant her baby out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you did see that. Yeah.
Your spirituality belongs in birth. It belongs in birth. And I hold space for that, and it's for the Ifa holding space. You know, you say Ashe.
You said E what?
Ifa.
Ifa.
Say it.
Ifa.
Mm-hmm.
Who that?
Say it how you want to say it.
Ifa.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? Is that what is that? That's another Ashe or something?
Okay.
No, Ifa's
African.
It's an African way of life. You know, it's literally an African way of life, and
so Ifa.
Ifa, yeah, they have it.
They say Ashe, Ashe-o.
Yeah.
So.
So do man.
Different deities. And
Yeah. Okay.
So that's Ifa. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
So it's a deity, like Shango.
Mm-hmm.
That's Shun.
Mm-hmm.
Same reason.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm not like 100% into it, but I kind of heard bits and pieces. It's not a religion, right? But it's more of like a
culture,
a lifestyle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not.
So you share space. You pretty much share space with each culture. As a doula, you can't be like, oh well, you know, they're Ifa, I don't, or they're Muslim and I don't.
I don't discriminate.
You know, but are there doulas out there like you? I mean, we don't have to like say names, but would they be like, I don't know if I could.
Yes.
Such and such, like racism.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. So what I'm gonna do is without.
We're not trying to put anyone on blast here. Just trying to get like an idea.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Some people aren't ready for that. Some people are not ready for that. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with cultures. I'm okay with different beliefs. I'm not going to practice them, but I will come into them to learn more.
Right.
And not, you know, some people have heard so many things, and I even had to go through my own things. You know, people judge what they don't understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to come and learn other ways and be open to that, and realize that the colonized way is the illusion of choice. Is the illusion. Colonization is, you know, you have certain religious sects, and it's like, okay, so we have to do it this way and only this way, and then people can use that.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like if we know that they're this, we can know how to talk to them. If they know they're this, it can be used, anything can be used for the greater good or to hurt someone.
Or to hurt someone.
So does it feel good? And we have to, you know, it's so much, right? So how do I work with my clients? I meet with them. If they like me, fine, let's move forward. They put a down payment. They give me all their information.
What's your down payment like?
$300 is down payment.
$300 down payment. Obviously, each year the prices go up, right?
You know, there's inflation, and I have to live. And here's the thing: a lot of people may or may not realize that I as a doula, it's hard. I haven't been on a vacation unless Creator made it so.
Wow.
Because like if I'm on call for you, I can be on call for you for a whole month and I can't leave the area.
Yeah, I remember you did that for me. I remember she did that
You know,
for
I
me.
can't have
She's
that
like, I'll be
extra
on
lesson.
call, I'm not going anywhere.
You know?
I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm right here. Like, I don't play around.
And you came when it was like a false alarm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a false alarm like twice. Yeah, like the water didn't break or anything, but you were there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
And I may know it's not time yet, but you guys needed that comfort to know we're good and somebody's here for us.
Right.
And that's what birth should be. Like, you should be able to trust the people around you so that you can have a better experience.
A better experience.
A good experience.
So
a
a
safe
doula does the
experience.
massage, because you did massage Vanessa. Oh, by the way, I spoke to Vanessa and she said that she's very honored that we
Yes.
speak about this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Vanessa.
so,
Yeah.
but you know, like from my experience, I felt like a doula was like, yes, a mother, but a comforter, also massaging, helping as well, like,
Mhm.
you know. So I remember, like, you did have that intuition, and you told her, you're like, get out of the water's delaying.
And
The water's
you
delaying.
stopped all the, what was it?
Yeah.
Remember your friends were there and they had the sage going the
The
whole
sage
time.
going, yeah, Brent,
and
yeah,
she was
yeah.
like, I'm like,
She
that's a
was chill.
sedative, that's
She was
enough.
chill. Exactly.
She's about to.
Yeah,
And then I went and laid with y'all so you could go to
exactly.
sleep. You know, I got in the bed right with both of you, and it was so I tell people, they sometimes will say, do you mind if I get naked? And I say, why don't we think of it more National Geographic and less pornographic?
Right. Wow. One more time, say that again.
Let's think of it more
National
Geographic
Geographic.
and less pornographic. You know, when we can think about life as National Geo rather than Hugh Hefner,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Then it's not the same.
Oh man, that's so true, man.
So it's not the same, and so the misconceptions of that. Let's go on and dissolve that now, you know.
Right.
So we didn't have that in this sacred space, and it
Yeah.
was like you guys were exhausted, and me laying with you gave permission for you both to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then she got some sleep at 9 centimeters. Remember?
Yeah.
And then she went, "Whoa!" And I said, "Come catch your baby."
Literally.
Literally. She got
bro,
up, and
yeah.
I was holding her, and I could have caught the baby, but I said, "Yusuf."
Catch the baby.
I didn't
bro.
call you
Yeah.
Carlos.
She didn't call me Carlos.
I didn't call you Carlos. Oh man, I'm
What?
glad we can laugh about these things, right?
Yeah.
And so you came
Yeah.
around, and it was the most beautiful thing. You had like this glow about you, and you
Yeah.
just did this, and you received your child and put your child.
I
right.
did, yeah.
And then
I was
after
the first
you,
one to catch Jupiter, bro.
you
Oh
gave
my
her to
god.
her. Mm.
Yeah.
Give her to the mother. Yeah, she's waited all this time. She grew her in here, and then you both embraced and
Yeah.
just held.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Such an intimate. That's probably the most
Most
intimate,
intimate.
moment I ever had in my
And men
life.
ask, well, how's it going to be intimate if you're there? Well, let me tell you. Ask Yusuf.
Oh my god, it was so intimate, yo.
It was
Oh my
so
god,
intimate.
beyond intimate, like.
And it's crazy because where they have birth at is where Third Eye Five started at. So it just all
Yeah,
comes around
boy.
in a circle.
Say it
It
again.
comes around
Did
in
you hear what he
a circle.
said?
No, what
This guy.
Where he had birth at is where Third Eye Five started at.
Yeah, where Third Eye 5 started
That's-
at.
Yeah. So it's all coming back full
Crazy.
circle.
It's all coming back
On
full
June,
circle all the
amazing.
what is
time.
June 4th, 2023.
The cosmic connections are
That's
just
crazy.
phenomenal, right?
We've been friends from a Lyft ride. It's been like 7 years.
You were driving.
I was driving. I was doing Lyft here, and I picked him up to take him to the barbershop.
And it was history after
How's that
that.
working out for you?
I got this guy, man.
I used to call him all the time. Hey, take me to my girl crib. All right, bro, I got you. And no time, bro. It didn't care what time it was. You good, bro? I
Yeah.
got you right now. 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You need to get home
Yeah.
to Virginia Beach from Norfolk. I got you.
Yeah, of course I got you,
Bro.
bro. My guy, bro.
Love, man.
Oh,
This was
Lord.
like 2016.
It's all love. It's all love. I'll never forget when I
It's gonna continue to
when I
grow.
came
Blessings,
from.
blessings.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was
yes.
living in Wisconsin, Menominee, Michigan, like by Canada, and we were gonna do our home birth with this one lady that had no idea. I'm not gonna say her name. No idea about what she was doing, and I had that intuition. And there was a month and a half left, I promise you, until Jupiter was like she was gonna give birth to Jupiter. I looked at Vanessa. I'm like, we ain't staying here. We're gonna go to Virginia. I will find a doula over there and a midwife. She's like, dude, there's a month and a half I need to nest. They got to nest.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, no, we leaving. So we left. And once we got here, I looked up Leslie. And I'm like, oh man, there's like a month and a half, like she needs to feel comfortable with Leslie too in her space and surrounding.
Mm-hmm.
But when I met Leslie, what really attracted me to Leslie was she did breech births before, and then she knew how to induce labor. She's like, I want you to feel very comfortable. I'm gonna show you that I can induce labor. I'm like, damn, this is crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I told Vanessa, I'm like, are you okay if she like induces labor right now just to show us like she got us, you know what I'm saying, so we can feel comfortable? She's like, yeah, I would like to see that. Bro, she touched Vanessa literally like by her ankle, sent some shockwave. I don't know what the hell Leslie did.
Well, she was like, what?
Yeah, bro. And then Vanessa's like, yo, I can feel Jupiter just like literally moving in my stomach really fast. I'm like, all right, man, that's it. Yeah, it's Leslie. It was like a week. I found Leslie in a week.
Those are my favorite ones. Like when people are like, find me like that, in a spur or whatever, and it's like, we know I'm supposed to be here. Like they know. My clients know, and my clients are the smartest people in the world, man.
Right.
They're so wise, and I just wish that I knew what they know now when I was giving birth, when I was having my babies. And so I just love all my clients and so proud of them and so proud of you guys, like for knowing and following that. And I was like, my God, how did you know? How did you know that you're gonna have a home birth? Like, how were you so wise to this? How did you know? Like,
Vanessa, bro, no lie. Yeah, Vanessa prepared me about a year and a half in the making. Like, it was all preparation. Like, she was so great in preparing, like, just preparation, because...
You're like the God of this child. We are going to make a place for you.
Preparation.
We're preparing a place for you. There are many worlds in between worlds and between worlds and between worlds, right?
But, you probably experience the people that don't prepare and the people that do prepare. Mm-hmm. Does it make a difference, do you think?
Well, it can, and it all depends on where people are at, and I have to meet people where they're at, but I will speak on my oldest daughter's birth, and I'm so proud of her. And she's a child that she would have seizures just by listening to my heartbeat. She would pass out. Hitting her hand on the wall, oh, it hurts. She'd pass out, Going to the doctor, I was still holding her, so her husband was in Japan, and I'm here, and they decided, we're going to leave her here with you because you're still holding her for, blood draws and things. And so she decided to have a birth at DePaul, which at that time had, I think, like 4 or 5 midwives. The doctor actually designed this, Dr. Hughes, a very wise man. And so he created this safe space for women. And so when the women would come into this care, they would have to do journals of what they were eating. It was totally the midwifery model of care. And I would talk about these things, and I preferred home birth, but when my girls said we're pregnant, I sat on my hands and I zipped my mouth, and that's how I got invited in, because this is their birth.
Not yours.
Not mine.
Yeah.
And so this is their child, this is their body, this is their birth. I say nothing, and they tell me what they want. And so I walked with her, and we were doing a class, and they took this rope, and they said, okay, this is about how long a first labor lasts. Does anybody know? And everybody's like, I don't know. Ask her. She's a doula. She'll know. And I'm like, 12 to 16 hours average. It's like 12 to 16 hours. Yay. So then they go around. They're like, so the reason why you want a long labor is because it's this, that, the other. It's safer. And I'm like, what? No.
Yeah.
And so she's like, and if you have a fast birth, that means this. And I'm like, no, fast birth probably means everything's good and safe.
Yeah.
Everything's ready.
So it's the opposite.
Well, that's how I was feeling. So no judgment, but I was just like, wait a minute. Let me process this. Anyway, so we go around, and the instructor says, choose a string of how long you would like your labor to last. And women were going, I want mine to be 32 hours. Because she had told them, you want a longer labor.
Exactly.
And one was, I want 24 hours. I want 42 hours. And I'm like, and then my daughter goes, I want 4 hours. And everybody went, tell her, you're a doula, tell her she can't have that. And I was like, and the lady says, stand with your person if you support him. I was like, hey, Carol. What's up,
stand
baby?
with your person if you support him. Yeah. Doula's about to stand up, boy.
I was like, what's up, baby? And she goes, And I went, no, you can have whatever you want. You just manifest it.
Yeah.
And she said, all right, 5 hours. And I said,
5
everybody
hours.
calm down. She said 5 hours, right? Yo, she said, everybody's like, yo, don't hire that doula. So we got invited back. All the families got invited back, and everybody's going, I had my 32-hour birth. I had my 42-hour birth, and I went 24 hours. And I'm like, do you want me to tell it, or do you want to tell it to my daughter? And she had the most beautiful birth. She got in the water. She got out of the water. She pushed him out in 5 hours.
So it wasn't in the water.
In 5
hours.
In 5 hours.
Wow.
And the midwife looked at me and said, had you not been her mother, because we know who you are, she would have had a C-section. I went, why? She did great. They said, Leslie,
Wow.
had you not been her mother, she would have had a C-section.
Wow.
She's 5'1", and he was 9 pounds 2 ounces.
Wow.
And she did an
5'1",
amazing.
9 pounds 2 ounces.
And this is
good.
this is my
That's a
child that
big
passed
boy,
out.
man.
And then she came to me after the birth, and she
Que
says,
tan grande el muchacho.
she says, Mom, I have something to tell you. You're gonna be mad at me. And I said, girl, try me. And she goes, I didn't read the first book that you showed me. I didn't watch the first film. And I went, that worked for you.
That's it. Yeah.
That worked for you.
Yeah.
Come on. So there's a Michael Odon is a doctor from France, and what he likes to say is, when a mother comes to me and says, what book should I read? He says, the book of you and your child.
Yeah.
You listen to yourself.
To yourself, yeah.
And you listen to that baby. And so some of these people have gotten into it for the right reasons. We got to find the right ones to be with, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So if you feel only safe in a hospital, you need to interview and find out. But these people are not allowing interviews.
Exactly.
So find out when somebody tells you, I want to have, or I had this doctor and that doctor was amazing. Ask them, what was so amazing? Does that align with your beliefs? Because it can be amazing that you got an epidural at 1 centimeter and had a C-section and everything was dramatic. That could be amazing to some
To
people.
you, but to
Right.
But
somebody
to
else.
other people, were you supported? That's what.
Yeah.
That's the important thing, not how it turns out, but were you supported? Some women have said, I don't want to be on my back. I just want to squat the baby out,
Mhm.
and they end up on their backs
That's crazy.
because they
stuff.
want to be.
Yeah.
And what I say to them,
The women want to be on their backs.
hold
Okay.
on, I'm gonna speak of one in particular, because remember, it's like a thumbprint. And so one in particular came and said, I don't want to be on my back. I want to be squatting. I want to be squatting. I want to be squatting. And so I was like, come on, get into your squat. And she says, I need to be on my back, and push the baby out.
Dang.
What mattered was that she was supported and that she had a choice. It's the women that are made to get on their backs. So we romanticize a lot about a lot of things.
Okay.
And so romanticizing the birth is, I'm going to do it this way and only that way.
Yeah.
And she looked at me after birth and said, was it weird that I wanted to be on my back? And I said, that worked for you.
Yeah.
What
Wow,
works?
wow.
What works? You know, let's not pressure people to do the things that they don't want to do.
Yeah, but
We
you need
to-
gravity. Like
we
we
need
do need like
to
the squat
follow
position.
ourselves. We
Yeah.
need to listen to our bodies
You're right.
and our babies, because the baby is cooperating. It's not some little stubborn child. It is
Yeah, but I
cooperating.
remember from our experience that when Vanessa was in the water, it was kind of delaying in the stage and
Yeah.
everything. But then you're
Yeah.
like, hey,
Wow.
get in the squat position, get out,
Well,
sleep
we,
on the
we
bed.
Lay down.
We laid down for a little bit. She kept on moving back and forth, and then you put her in a squat position, and then she held my neck,
Yeah.
and then Jupiter was out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you think that it works for each person the way it works, but is it a more effective way
you
for
guys-
birthing to be in a squat position?
You guys
So you-
trusted me, and I trusted you.
We did. We had big
And that was
trust.
all that mattered.
That was that.
That was all that mattered. We had trust for one another, and when things weren't
I mean,
working,
we
and I
followed your
spoke
lead.
about
We
it,
followed your lead.
because I'd done it before. I've done it almost 500 times now. So you were like, well, you're the professional. And so you guys gathered the right people to be around you.
Right.
And you knew that intuitively. So you knew that if something went, because you weren't so naive as to say, we're going to do this and not have anybody there and just wing it. You said, no, we don't know too much about birth, but we know that you know about birth. and we know that you know that if things get this way, that you're going to take us that way. So it's kind of like climbing a mountain, and you took a guide with you.
Exactly.
You
Yo,
know,
that's a serious mountain, though.
Yeah, man. I'm
It's
proud
a
of you.
serious mountain, though.
So proud of you guys. So proud of you. So it's all about the people that you have around. It used to be the aunties and the grandmas, and then it was demonized when Pfizer came. You know, the big time corporations said, "Shoot, we can monetize off of this.
Right.
Let's put it in the hospital and then you know, ethically, it was wrong because they were going off the fears of women. They were going off the fears of men." And we want our babies to be safe. And that one baby that was escorted
Fear,
to
you
the hospital.
you could control up people when you know that there's fear within them.
Yeah.
Now they're easier to manipulate and control.
Yeah. We want options.
Yeah.
We need options.
What do you think about
We need
Lotus
support.
birthing? What was your take on I mean,
How long did you keep that on? It's to each his own. That's how I feel about it.
It was a day and a half and it fell by itself.
That's so nice.
Yeah, the umbilical cord literally fell off by itself. She was still connected to the placenta.
Talk about lotus birth,
Oh
because
my
that's what
God.
you guys did. I do placenta encapsulation, so I'll take
You
the
do the
placenta
encapsulation, yeah.
and I'll encapsulate it for people, and they take the capsules, and I'll do a little heart of their, you know, you can go to my Instagram.
And women
all
consume the
that.
capsules.
Mm-hmm. You can go to
Yo,
my,
they consume their placenta, boy.
Yeah.
I got a pill capsules. We about to pop these things. 100 a pop.
Yeah, man.
Yo, she be making. Do you understand this? Do you understand
Yeah.
this?
Placenta.
Leslie makes the placenta into capsules, and the women consume it.
How much is that?
200 and plus
200?
handling
200
fee.
plus
So,
and
yeah, 200 plus. And then there's also a tincture that's
Get your
$50.
capsules,
Tincture's $50.
So the breasts make milk for baby, right?
Correct.
And the uterus has this afterbirth that can be used after birth.
Exactly.
And see,
So-
this is what the stuff that women don't know. They just think you gonna BS when you bring this type of information in, because they really don't think that the placenta and the uterus, whatever, doesn't have like a special effect on the baby after
It's
they're
the baby's
born.
twin. Like the placenta's the baby's twin, no?
Depends on who you talk to. So you can honor it in many ways. So my friend from Kenya, came to me plenty of times like, Leslie, we don't do that. That is the twin. You might as well eat the baby too. He was very upset about it. And he says, I went to my elders and I talked to them and da-da-da, and they said that was
no?
wrong. And you're supposed to bury it and you're supposed to give it a proper burial. And I said, let me ask you this. When were you circumcised? He said, at birth. And I said, because he kept telling me, that's a Western thing, that's a Western thing. I said, when were you circumcised? He said, at birth. So that's a Western thing. That's a Western thing. That is it.
So did you bury that?
Did you know who got who? And so you know he's a very, very smart man. So he come back to me a few more times like that's just, and now he's sending me information on.
I'm
just trying to say.
So
You're late.
I don't want to change your ideas. That's one thing I don't want to do.
Right.
I don't condemn. I don't convert.
Exactly. I
come
never
to
felt
me-
like that. I never
you
felt
know,
like that with you. I
If you
never
come to
felt
me
like
and
that.
say, like you lotus birth, and you felt like the baby would feel it if you cut the cord.
The cord, yeah.
And I remember you saying that, and I said,
Yeah.
honor and respect. And
Yeah.
that's what it's about. And some
Cut
people.
mine, man.
Yo, it fell off in a day and a half, and I promise you, Jupiter was, because we put rose petals and sea salt and Himalayan salt and salt from the Dead Sea,
Yeah, I remember that.
right? Lavender too, and then you could literally see my baby like opening and closing her mouth like she's eating off of this placenta. And after a day, there was nothing on the placenta; it was all gone, all that salt, and it was full of it. Like it was full of it, bro. Like she's consuming from the placenta. She's still getting nurtured from the placenta.
If you want to do a lotus birth, research lotus birth. If you want to do placenta encapsulation, research a placenta encapsulation. If you want to do home birth, research home birth. If you want to do research the midwifery model of care versus the medical model of care. Research shared decision making. Get the books, Ina May Gaskin's Guide to Childbirth. Look up the Doula's Guide to Childbirth. Look up these different books, these different
Research.
LeslieCuffey.com. You
Please.
can find me. Where's my
You said
Instagram?
where? You said where?
LeslieCuffey.com. And there you go. Yeah, that's me right there. LeslieCuffey.com. If you Google my name, you can find me on Google. You can read the different testimonials, and have I got you doing yet?
I think you got a couple on me.
Yeah, right.
But now we here live with it.
You're one.
We
You know, the
we here
men
live
sometimes
with it.
become my biggest advocates. Like, you gotta hire this doula.
Yeah.
You know, and the women are like, you know,
Maybe
some
have that
people
iffy
don't know what
feeling.
to expect.
Yeah.
Until I say, once I get to your house at 36 weeks gestation, so you hire me, you have access to me, you can call me, you can text me. If I don't get back to you right away, I'm probably gonna pull over and get to you at some point. If not, message me, because I wanna get back to you, right?
How many clients could you say you have at, like, let's say in a month? Could you, would you do you only work with one client, or you'll take on 2 to 3 clients in the same month?
I do from 2 to 5.
2 to 5.
Yeah, and it depends on what's brought to me, because some months I might have 1, some months I might have 2, some months I might have 5.
Wow.
And so that's going to be a very busy month. And
you ever had it like where there was a birth here and then you had to go to another?
Mm-hmm.
You had that as well?
Mm-hmm.
Man, going through 500 births, you have to have a lot of different experiences.
I just read last night on my Facebook where I posted about going to like 5 births back to back to back to back to back, and only having like an hour of sleep in like many days. And so it's you know, you find the strength.
Right.
You find the energy, right? And I've had, you know, special force fathers look at me and go, "What are you?"
Yeah.
What are you? And I'm like, you
But
just
when happened, mother? Where are you from?
you
know,
just
like,
gather your strength. And I say, in the
Wow,
field,
wow,
if you
wow.
had to, you would find it. I'm in the field right now.
Yeah.
This is my field.
This is
you
your
know?
field.
And I don't say it that way because I don't want people to feel like, oh, this is my field and you can't do it. I say, you can do this too.
Yeah.
You can do this too. Matter of fact, hold her tighter. Hold her, you know, here's a rag you can use for her face.
Exactly.
Offer her a drink. Don't ask her if
You
she
did
wants
that.
it.
I remember
Yeah,
you did
yeah,
all of
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's supporting you to support her, right?
Exactly.
Putting you two together, making it more intimate. And
Wow.
you know, and that's what I like to do.
Exactly.
That's
What do you
what I like to
like?
do.
What could you say for fathers out there that want to get into the home birthing, and like what should they expect? What should they do, and maybe don't do around your wife, where you know your wife is not going to feel agitated by you. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes men could be, you know, like there's a lot of hormones going on. You feel me? Like being married to somebody and they're pregnant. Now there's different emotions. Like the mother is carrying literally her body and now the baby. So there's 2 souls that she is accountable for. So it's like, what would you tell to men that are trying to get into home birthing and want to support their wife through home birthing? What is it that, you know, just 2-3 pointers that you think are important that you've seen through my experience with Vanessa
Yeah,
and through
tell me
others?
about
Do you know
that.
what I'm saying? Like,
Tell me about your experience and what you think of the 3 things that were essential. Give me an example.
Preparation.
Preparation?
Yeah.
What type of
Preparation is one
preparation?
So we did affirmations. It was like an hour every day for like probably 9 months, almost 10 months. You know, just sending affirmations saying that, they have affirmations for men, and then they have the affirmations for women. Oh man, I forgot what it's called, but it's affirmations on home birthing. If you look that up on YouTube, it's gonna pop up right away.
See, he's got the answer.
It'll pop up. It's gonna pop up. But
I think it's good to hear that from men. And what else? What's number 2?
Obviously space, and letting go of ego. You know, like giving space to to your loved one, to your significant
What
other,
does that
and
mean
no egos.
exactly? Give us an example. Give space.
Give space, like don't argue, you know, like don't find arguments. And if arguments are gonna occur, just give some space. Don't try to like solve that issue right away, or you feel like, oh, she's wrong. No, I think she might have to be right throughout the whole, throughout the 9 month of pregnancy. So it kind of just keeps things in balance, obviously.
And one of the things I was going to say, and then I want to hear the third one, and I'm going to jump on that one, because this is what I started thinking when you asked that. When my family says, anybody in my family says, we're pregnant, and I go, uh-oh, and I try to make my way out of the room, and they go, where are you going? You're going to be the doula, and I'm like, shh.
Yeah.
I'll hire someone for you. And why is because family, the husband, the family members are the safe people that get the brunt of the wraths.
Right.
Any type of wraths that are coming, you're going to get it because you love them and you're not going to leave, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, when my family says that, I know what the husband feels.
Yeah.
I know what the partner feels.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is going to be tough. And it is. It can. Some of the toughest births I've ever attended was the mentally draining with my family, and I love them so much. But one person was telling me, I need you to get out of the room, and I go, okay, and I grab my bag and I'm getting ready to go, and they're going, where did you go? When I come back to, actually I left my stuff and I came back to get it.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, well, where'd you go? I needed you. You were my focus. And I'm like, oh God.
Right.
What they want to do.
So it's like they expect you to know them and to read their mind, and that's what we do to loved ones. And
why? Like what, man? What?
Somebody just told me we're better off as friends than we are lovers, and I said, correction, you should have always been friends as you were lovers.
Ooh.
We all so often put everything on one another, and we expect people to be our all and all, and it's a conditioning. It's not our. It's only our fault if we don't correct ourselves. That's where it becomes our fault. But if you can get in there and say, you know what, I just said this to you and that was very manipulative and I'd like to address it this way.
Correct.
That takes, but anyhow, it can happen. But we, like I was telling you earlier, we teach people how to treat us by staying, by not, addressing certain things. Now, pregnancy, I see what you mean. She's right, whatever. Yes, honey, yes, dear, whatever.
You gotta kind of let it go, bro.
Nah.
Yeah, you gotta let it go.
It depends on,
I learned that, obviously as a male, like, I have male energy, but then I have feminine energy as well.
Yeah.
And that's when I felt like I turned on
man.
my feminine energy when she was pregnant. Do you know what I'm saying? With Jupiter. So it was like more cleaning, more making sure that the house is all set. Like she doesn't have to do any of this type of stuff.
And that's backed by
the bits
science.
and pieces. Like just.
It's backed by science that your testosterone lowers with that DNA, and your estrogen goes up. Yeah. And so you do become more nurturing. I've been nurtured by more men than I have women. The best nurturing has come from men. And so those masculinated men, I can't,
right.
Because that's ego and that's disgusting and it makes me feel bad.
Right.
But a man that's like, you're a woman, I understand I don't like it when they come that way. Like, you're a woman, you have woman needs. Now you're dividing us.
Yeah.
But I like it when you say, I'm here for you, how can I hold space?
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It is about sharing space, holding space.
Holding space, like you said, share space.
Yeah.
And so I saw and I could see that, and it's like, what do you need? And because you're not only nurturing her, you're nurturing your child at that time.
Exactly.
And the child feels, so women will call me and say, this is one of the things, and as your doula, if you call me and you say, I'm having a really bad day, I feel like my baby's getting all of this energy, and now I feel worse because of that, and their energy is like all over the place, and you're like, you bring them down with this. You know what? Everybody goes through a bad day, but you're teaching your child that you can reach out to someone safe.
Yeah.
And they go,
Thank
you, Leslie. Thank you. And then they don't feel so bad.
Yeah.
Because we're human and we go through human emotions and human things. And we're going to, seek wise counsel.
Right.
And you just sought wise counsel.
Yeah.
Right? And so,
did you ever go through a breech birth? You've been through a breech birth.
Been through a breech birth?
Like breech.
Oh, I was a breech birth. So yeah, I've been through a breech. Yeah, I was breech. I've been through a breech. So back in the day, I was born butt first. And Mom says, I don't know why you were breech.
Why do they make it a big deal? Like why is it such a big deal in the hospital? Like, oh, it's gonna be a breech birth. How about if it's a breech birth? You don't want to have a home birth. You know what I'm saying? Leslie, please pick one, whichever one you like, because on the show, we eat our sea moss.
You can have whatever you like.
Whichever one you like.
Yeah.
So why do they make breech births like a big deal? Like, why is...
It's an art, and it can be dangerous. The head can get stuck. So,
and then they start saying, oh, his heart rate is going to drop. And like, is that like...
So you don't want just anybody to pull on your baby, whether it's a breech birth or whether it's a regular birth. So regular births, they sometimes do this thing where they pull on the baby's neck, and that can break clavicles, and that can break little, fractures and things like that. And so in breech birth, if a head gets lodged, they're not thinking this baby's head is stuck. Maybe if they don't know breech birth, they're thinking let's just pull it out. But you can't just pull that head because you can do an internal decapitation, right? So let's say breech birth is like a very special thing. You got to know like how to put her in what position and things like that. You need a skilled person, and so people have lost that skill.
Wow.
And so in the hospital, 1 in 3 women have C-sections.
1 in 3.
1 in 3 women are sectioned.
Allahu Akbar.
And
Wow.
So yeah, that's where it's gone into the United States, and I have a feeling that it's worse than that because I've gone to hospitals, and the only woman that's still left not yet in a C-section is my client.
Wow.
And everybody, there's 4 other people there, and they've all been sectioned already, and so whether or not my client
They've all
goes
been
back.
sectioned.
Yep.
Wild.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
So psychological birth. Research psychological birth. Psychological third stage is when the placenta comes instead of pulling on it and different things like that. Research evidence-based-birth.com. There are, there's the evidence backs up certain things like, oh, do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? Get the information. Look up Sacred Birth Doula on Instagram. She's got a Rights Over Your Birth, or look up Rights Over Your Birth package. It's a very militant kind of way about it. You go into the hospital and you say, I am recording you. You will sign this paper saying that you will not coerce me. You will not this. You will not that.
Recording.
Yeah.
Recording part of like, what, documenting what's going on?
Documenting what's going on. So it's called Right Over Your Birth package. And really, we shouldn't have to fight during labor.
Yeah.
And so you had none of that at yours.
I had none of that at mine.
It was beautiful.
Yo, we had pineapples,
flowed.
we had
You had an
cherries,
amazing
we
had
midwife.
You had no joint?
Bro,
We
chill.
had my vegan sweet tooth.
We had
all
vegan
of that.
sweet tooth.
It
We had
was
all of that.
beautiful.
Like it was.
Yeah, y'all got to be
it was
yourselves.
an experience and a
You
half.
didn't have to get in a car.
You know
and
when
go
she
bump.
got up after the birth, ask Leslie. She's like, yo, I feel like going to the mall right now.
She felt amazing.
She's like, I want to go to the mall. Leslie's like, just sit down, relax. Like, Ruki, Amara. Ruki, relax.
You feel like that. Like
and then she's like, could I just do the dishes?
Nope.
That's what
Somebody will
she
do the dishes.
Can I do the dishes?
She had so much energy.
She had so much energy right after the birth,
She wasn't sick.
She wasn't sick,
She
and
just had a
it's just
baby.
that epidural, bro. Like, that epidural is like...
So she got...
No, she didn't get no epidural, but I'm
She
just
had
saying...
the pull. She had the...
Yeah.
pull.
Epidural literally is like... What type of, like... That's like cocaine, like that's worse than heroin.
Anything with cane, lidocaine, novocaine, any kind, and then fentanyl, you got all of that. And so we wonder, what's wrong with our children? Well, let's learn about our births. Let's learn about how we came into this world. Why is there such a rise of children between the ages of 5 and 20-something that are killing themselves? Age 5, killing themselves, right? Age 5 to 25, we have a rising. I remember when I was giving birth the second time, they said, hold the baby in. I was like, she's coming, or the baby's coming. I didn't know what she was, and they thought that was weird. And then I said, the baby's coming. They said, whatever you do, don't push her. You will hurt your baby. So I was like, hurt my baby? I don't want to do that. So I climbed the back of the bed, and everything starts popping and adjusting. And I'm like, oh God, how long do I have to do this? How do I do it? Nobody's telling me. How do I make her stay? And when they said, the doctor will be here in 20 more minutes, because he gets paid by the head that he catches, and then they get in trouble if he's not there on time for the birth. You should have told me. I missed another birth because you didn't tell me on time. So they're making me suffer so they can do it the right way.
That's crazy.
They're making my baby suffer.
You see why
So
you want to do home birth and all this other stuff?
Well,
man,
the right
because-
team around you. The right team around you.
Man.
And so the other thing was, when my daughter was 3 years old, she climbed underneath the table and she said, when I was coming, you didn't want me. You held me back, and I want to go back there. She never trusted. So I watched that film, What Babies Want, on YouTube, and it talked about it. There were other people in that film. That's called limbic imprinting. Limbic imprinting at the time of birth is your heightened capacity to imprint. You're imprinting on your family. So when they put that stuff in the eyes, the baby can't see you. The baby wants to see you, right?
Yeah.
And so
That's an important moment that the baby sees you,
see
dude.
you,
Yeah.
smell you, and I was like, cut all the smells in the house. And so when your baby came to you guys, all the baby smelled was your pheromones.
Was us. Yeah.
And
Our
and
pheromones,
everybody
bro.
keep your voices low. You guys talk to your baby.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the
That's
voice that the
important
baby
too,
got to
man.
hear, right? And so that's important. These are the practices that we need to honor and replicate. If you want to do anything, unify with those things and bring babies into a peaceful environment. You know, peace on
Right.
earth begins at birth. The hand that rocks the cradle
Begins at birth.
rules
Peace on
the
earth
world.
begins at earth.
Peace on earth begins at birth. That's
It
a
begins
quote
at
from one of the
birth, right.
midwives, I think, in Bali. She was CNN Hero of the Year, and I think 2020. I think that's when Ibu Robin Lim. And she has a documentary called Gorilla Midwife, where she went, I think, to Haiti. And she went there, and I think that was where it was when they had the big hurricane, and she went and she recovered hundreds of bodies. You know, midwives don't just, you know, go for the births of babies. Some of these midwives are humanitarians, and they go to these relief efforts and things and pull bodies out of wreckage.
Mhm.
They're there through the family, through the whole part of life. You know, they may be bringing a baby in while the grandparent is going out, and they're
Mhm.
helping midwife the grandparent into the other realm in the home environment. You know,
Right.
yeah.
Do you feel like when you have a better connection with the family, like for example, you had a really good connection with us. Do you feel like the birth was just smooth? Do you feel like when you have a better connection with these people, things tend to just move smoothly?
When the people that are around you, it makes everything smoother.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can either make or break it. Some of the worst births I've attended was where the mother of the person in labor was there.
Oh, her like the mother.
Those are some of the worst, and it was that mother. You know, the child wanted to do everything her way, but the mother couldn't let go, and she's going, "Give her the epidermin," and I'm like, "Epidermin." You know, you can't even say it, but okay. And I'm like,
We ain't saying your name.
And then she calls me out of the room, and she's saying,
Epidermin.
you know, my child didn't want to do this until you came along, and I'm like, anything else you want to address with me? I'm like, let your mother know that these were your ideas. You know, I can't tell her, and she's asking me questions. When you get that straight, let me know when I can come back, because now your mother wants to fight me in the hallway.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's
Bro, it
sometimes
just
a
throws the
battlefield,
energy
you know?
off, right?
It throws the energy.
everything off.
It makes that
dude.
labor longer. It makes
Exactly.
that mother have to, you know,
That's
exert
crazy,
energy that
bro.
she shouldn't have to exert. I had one mother say, "Oh, you know, my daughter's in labor, but come here and look at all my pictures from when I had my birthday and my beautiful dress that they put me in and did." And I'm like, "I'll be back." She's like, "No, come see with me." And I'm like, "Ooh," and you know. That's not why I'm here, or the husband. And, you know, so it's like
That's crazy.
whoever you bring into that birth space, make sure that they're on board.
They're on
with
board,
your
yeah.
wishes. You know, that they are loving and nurturing and can put themselves to the side
That
to
makes so much
serve
sense, dude.
you.
Yeah.
That can make it or
It's
break
like-
it, like she said.
Y'all gotta be in rhythm in there, man.
Mhm.
That's how it was with mine.
And some people have hired me because they're like, my husband's a good husband, but he has no idea about whatever. And I had one
Oh,
man,
you mean like no idea about birthing or anything,
or whatever, that they're not going to be attentive or whatever. And usually those are the guys that don't want me there, if they're not attentive to their wife at any time. And they're like, well, I don't want you there because I'm going to attend her. But he, you know, and so with those times that I am allowed in there, this one particular one I remember, he was okay with me coming, and almost all of them are. There's, I think, 2 or 3 that maybe I haven't gone back to, that the husbands was like, no, we don't need a doula, thank you very much. But this one particular one, she was like, I need you because I know that he's going to be in the corner on his computer. Or
But these
doing
people
this
already
or-
paid you, even though they tell you they don't need you.
Well, I'm going to speak on this particular birth,
Okay.
because I think we're kind of all over the place. But this particular birth, the man kept going to his computer every time she would have a contraction, and she was like,
Like, he's researching it? Yeah?
She was really
Oh
upset.
my God, bro. That's frustrating.
Yeah, you can't
That's
understand
frustrating.
it. But here's the thing: it was very
It's too
frustrating
much,
for
bro.
her,
That's-
and so I went and sat beside him, and I was gonna like.
So he's wait. He's researching contractions?
No, he's on his computer, and she wants him next to her. She wants him engaging.
Engaged at least.
And as soon as he saw the doctor, he went over to the corner and sat, and he was like, "This is not my arena. I don't know what to do here." And he kept getting on the computer. And then I went and sat beside him because he knew, we had all talked about it at the 36 weeks meeting. He knew what she wanted, and he's still not giving it to her. So I went and I sat beside him, and I looked, and I couldn't see what was on the computer. He turned it. And I was like, she really wants you over there. You know, I don't remember how I said it.
That?
I don't remember how I said it, but he got up, he was like, ugh, and he put it down, and he went and he sat beside her.
Like that.
Oh, power years.
And then I turned.
Like a first grader.
I'm not going to judge him.
Oh my God.
And here's why, because when I finish the story, you guys are going to be like, oh wow. I see what he's looking at, and I find out he had just lost his job and he's looking for jobs.
That's crazy. Ain't that crazy?
I was going through that to my last one. That's crazy. So I understand that, but I wouldn't still do that. But go ahead.
And so instead of being here now, sometimes we have to help people be here now, right?
Exactly.
Instead of being here now, all he could think of was, I'm the provider. She's having my baby. I'm supposed to be doing this. The doctor can do that. She can do this. I need to find a job.
Yeah. Wow. I know that. Man, I know he was going through it, yo.
He was going through it.
It was too much in the head.
It was too much. And so later when she was upset with him and he didn't even, you had to tell him, and I said, can I talk to you for a minute? This is what was going on. And she went, thank you. I didn't know. Sometimes just talking about things and expressing things can create a world that, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so I'm less likely to judge, but I'm more like, I'm always like, you know, when somebody comes to me and says, you did this, this, and this, I say, yes, I did. But do you know why? Did you ever think to find out why?
Yeah.
And so if we can just do that one thing, and my dad used to say that to me, and when I would do something he was not pleased with, he would say, why did you do that?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that felt so good.
Right.
To hear, why did you do that? It's not what it's not necessarily what he would have done or what he sees as logical, because he's a very logical, wise man. He's my medicine man. But he would say, why? What made you do that? Tell me about that.
Right.
And he wanted to know where it was coming from. And that was very nurturing. That is a very nurturing thing to say and do.
So it's important to be engaged with your lady in birthing. If you're not, then you're not on board. You're not, especially in a home birth. Especially in a home birth.
And keep a united front. Like, don't, if once I counsel my clients, before we get to the hospital, know what she wants. Are you on board with that? Whatever you're not on board with, say, I'm not on board with this, and I need to tell you why.
Yeah, facts.
Or we need to sit down and research this together, or you need to send me the facts so I can be comfortable.
That's why the preparation in the beginning is better. To do it early. Me personally, I'm just going based off of my experience.
And that is the traditional way, is make sure you get it all straight before da-da-da.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
But we can't be in other people's shoes, and so if I were in your shoes, what I would do is, figure it out. Just figure it out. And okay, you go in one room and you go in another room, and this is how I would counsel them if they're going, I want this, but he's saying, I want my mom to be there, and she doesn't want my mom there. And I'm like, okay, hold on. I want my mom there, and he doesn't want my mom there. I'm like,
oh my God.
Okay, all right. Well, let's talk about this. What is it about your mom that you need there? She's very comforting, and when I feel like this and all she has to say is one word and I feel good, I'm like, that belongs. Why don't you want his mom there? She called me a bad word the other day, and she always tells me she doesn't like me, and she even kicked me when I was walking past. And I'm like,
that's crazy.
How can, okay, so if she's hurting her and she's clearly
Have her at the birth.
stressed.
Oh, come on, bro.
How, so can you tell me how you made sense of your mom being there? And then we get into it, and he was like, well, she was at all of my brothers, and if I don't do that, she's gonna think I don't love her. So the mother is emotionally manipulating him. So I'm like, do you hear the pressure he's under? And so finding an understanding without judgment. And then you.
So your
and then
doula's even therapy, bro.
That's how I roll. I don't know how any other doula rolls. So then I say, you guys
So
work
you
that out.
can't say that this is to all doulas. Like
No.
not all doulas are gonna go.
I don't know.
Leslie's so humble.
I'm
I
gonna
love
say
her.
this is
her.
how I work because I don't know. I don't know. I know that women
So
that
this is how
hire
you
their
do.
doulas,
This
they
not-
love
yeah.
their doulas. People love who they hire. Most likely, they love them.
I can say it's not a lot of doulas that also like help, like, cause I feel like the man being there, the father being there, I feel like it's important. So I feel like we should also like have like a doula should able to like you was doing, like you asked like why you, or you saying like she wants you over there, like you
Exactly,
should go like
yeah.
interaction with the father. Don't just
But that's
don't
the
act like he's
intuition of
not
the
there.
doula. Not every doula has that type of intuition.
Exactly.
That's why that
And
last lady, that's why the baby transitioned. Because that doula didn't have the right maybe, I don't know. I'm just going based off of assumption. Because you said, Leslie was like, I would have used my intuition with that birth.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that.
Instead of saying, well, you're the professional and you know better, I would say, I don't feel right about this situation. Not only would I did say that, but not only would I say that, I would act upon it.
Right.
And instead of thinking that they were, and that's anybody, you want to trust the provider.
Exactly.
So
We trusted you, Leslie. We
well-
trusted you 100.
Well, you trusted you.
I did trust me, yes.
And you trusted your inner self. So I have to give the credit back to you.
Yeah, but
my clients are real smart. My clients are the smartest. My
Oh,
clients
Leslie's
are the
so
bomb.
humble, man.
You know what
Leslie's
I'm saying?
too
And
humble.
it's just this beautiful dance. And she's the lead. The mama, the birthing person
The mom
is the lead.
yeah.
She's the lead, and instead of you being the lead of the dance and birth, she's the lead, and we just follow her and cater to her. And if she needs her mother-in-law there because she loves her mother-in-law but not her mom, and vice versa, then why not have that person in there? But if she's being emotionally manipulated and he's being emotionally manipulated, let's talk about that. We don't have to make any decisions, but let's just bring it to the light. And then you guys make a decision, you let me know. But if it happens that your mother's in the room, I'm gonna know about her. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I guess we can't have her there because you know about her. And I'm like, I don't go home with you guys. I do not go home with you. I'm not gonna sit here and advocate for fighting.
So Leslie,
You
you
know?
seen couples like go at it?
Mm-mm.
No? Like kind of argue in
Well,
in
we'll have
let's
differences
say
of
in birth.
opinions.
Let's say in birth, like
I'm there to help. If I do recognize a difference of opinions, I go, "Did you hear what they just said?" And they go, "Yeah." I'm gonna no. Let's stop right there and let's honor what they just said, or let's listen to what they just said, because it doesn't sound, because that's what I'm hired for. Let us know if we're getting off of our birth plan. And she and he are both going, this is our plan. This is what we want. And I go, but did you hear that? So-and-so just said, if you do this, they're not going to do that.
right.
And I don't get into arguments. If they do seem like they're arguing, I say, I can leave while you guys finish this up. And they go, oh, we're sorry, because they want a good birth. They want.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's just immaturity, but you get to watch these people transform into these parents
Yeah.
that are mature and like, you're doing such grown-up things, yo.
Yeah, for real.
They're like,
No,
she
that's
said
right.
yo.
So question. So what's your take on the women exercising? Do you think that's important during the pregnancy, or
Absolutely.
not so important? Because I had posted something.
Hold on, before you say what you say, I'm gonna say my view on it. And
Uh-huh.
then, because I'm going to come as a professional. And the reason why I say it that way, because I'm not sure what you're going to say, and I don't want you to, like, all right, so maybe people want to hear what you want to say. What do you think? What do you think? Go for it.
So I posted something on Instagram. Like I seen this female. She was playing basketball with a
While
pregnant, and she was doing it with ease. Like, and I was just like, yo, like, I feel like women that are pregnant should have no excuse of like why they can't like exercise or do yoga or just.
It helps. It helps the baby to go.
Like,
it helps
being active.
position the baby. Actually.
Yeah. Like I
mean, that's what I heard. But
like
we have the professional here, and she
that's
like,
why. That's why we're getting the question, because I feel like now our today's generation, we are lazy. We just feel like, oh, because I'm pregnant now, I feel like I don't need to do anything but eat and sit on my ass.
I want you to
You
eat
know what I'm
minerals.
saying?
So what are you eating? Eat minerals. When you eat the right things,
Eat the right things.
Eat the right things. People. So we have misconceptions of eating for two. It is actually just mineral content is so important. Your sea moss, sea moss gel.
Talk to them.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Get your sea moss.
It's the best.
Y'all gave me the grape one, right?
Oh, we gave you the grape one.
Yeah, that's the one
best.
I want.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm almost done with mine. It's crazy.
I can see it.
So
I'm like,
good.
man, you're crushing it.
It is so good.
So yes, it does matter. Now, what I am going to say is, if you haven't been doing that all along, don't start. And there's certain positions that I'm going to put you in, so inversions and stuff like that. But the first thing I'm going to say is, one, where's your placenta? Because you're not going to do certain things if your placenta is here.
Right.
I'm not going to put my rebozo, and this is from Senegal. Actually, it was from my family in Senegal.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm gonna take this and like jiggle her belly, and so that could jiggle. I don't want no parts of that. What if that dislodges? I don't know if it will dislodge the placenta that's right there. So I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna do that. I don't feel comfortable doing that. Or, somebody that has heart issues or eye issues, I'm not gonna put them in an inversion.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also, if you're in yoga, is that practitioner, are they trained and versed very well in prenatal yoga? And follow yourself, listen to yourself. I had one client that her husband pulled me to the side just after she gave birth, and he says, and he was an officer, and so he was using like some tactics, like he was intimidating. And he said, I need you to tell her that she needs to lose weight, and it needs to come from you, right? So that was intimidating, and I wanted to, say, well, why would you say that? But he wanted to force her to, or like use me to tell her that she needed to exercise. And so crazy. I said to her, he says that you need to exercise, and she says, when my doctor clears me after 6 weeks, then I'll talk about it. And I went, that is a very wise thing. So instead of me saying, yo, he says you need to exercise, I said, yo, he thinks that you need to exercise. How do you feel about that? I put it back on him, and she says, and she was a doctor. She was a doctor. And she says, when my doctor okays me, I will go back.
Wow.
She had just given birth. And he's already saying she needs to be getting that belly away and da-da-da. I said, you need to appreciate that body that just birthed your child. So I just have to meet people where they are. Like, I can't just say go exercise and do yoga, but if you come to me and you say, I have sciatica, I have this, I have that, I say, have you been doing yoga? Have you been exercising? Do you walk? How do you lay at night? What pillows are you using? Do you have one in between your heels and in between your knees? Do you have one for your breasts? Do you have one for your, And do you have, what was your exercise regimen before? Oh, I walked a lot. And, okay, well,
or they try to use work as exercise, man.
Well, and then I'll say, well, what is work? Oh, well, damn, you do a lot of walking, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't even do that much walking in a day. I mean, I need to come work with you. No, be a doula. Just stay our doula.
I think it helps, though. I think the workout does help.
Yeah.
It absolutely
help move the baby and
can
position the baby. Can
help.
it, Leslie?
absolutely can help. But are there any problems? Are there any, so that's what I'm gonna ask, are there any medical conditions of why you shouldn't do certain things? Now, it's hard when, I can imagine how hard it is when it's your child and you want the mother to do a certain thing because you want your child to have certain things. But you also chose that mother.
Fact.
That as well.
Fuck.
Stop it.
It's all good, man. It's
Raw and authentic.
Think about it that it was a great experience.
Yeah.
Like you gotta,
for sure.
You know, there's always a lesson out of something that you thought that was
a lesson
bad.
or a blessing. And,
Exactly.
And that child also chose to come through it, so it's not all on you.
Yeah, that's a fact too.
So the child said, I want to use this person to come through to meet you. And the only way I'm going to meet you is if you do it this way. Now, I also believe that we do need to learn more of how to get ourselves together before we do start. I just had a conversation with a man, and I said, I know that you're going to marry the first woman that's around that's available when you're ready. It's not even going to be about if she's qualified.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And he says, no, that's not true. And I said, I know it's true because you had no whim of getting somebody pregnant when you were ready to have a baby. You thought nothing about it. You thought nothing about how to protect yourself, how to protect her. You just learned a certain way and you went for it. And so if you're not ready, you can be around every beautiful queen in the world, but until you're ready, you're not going to settle down.
Exactly.
And the first person that's near you that's just enough, just okay, he's most likely going to marry.
Oof.
So we need to get it together, and we do need to be more picky, and there is pressure on each one of us to be in relationships, to be doing certain things. We're paying our own bills, and I've been single for how many years? Like 10 years. And I'm like, I need to know that I can do this by myself because I will never be controlled by a man again. And I want to be with a man. I want him to be qualified. But like I was saying earlier, there's this thing out where men are saying, what more do you have besides the P that you can offer me? And so at the end of our conversation, I was like, what more can you offer me besides because I need this, I need my house right, I need this. I have standards now that I didn't have necessarily 20 years ago. And my standards now are I'd rather be alone and happy than with someone and miserable.
Do you feel like with age, our standards, things change, obviously?
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's not about age because I have met some really wise people that are young. Really, really wise. And I think it's about environment, and I'm going to go back to our community and what we learn and what's around us. And, I said, you don't break up, it's one marriage, and that's what I was always told. But like I said, God spoke and said, no, it is a dead thing, it is done. When something is a dead thing, it is gone, it is done.
Yeah.
So sometimes we have this thinking like it has to be a certain way, but if we listen to ourselves and go straight to source, because we can do that, right? The veil has been lifted. The veil has been ripped.
Straight to source. You listening?
Go straight to source. I mean, this is how I run my life. This is how I have.
You did.
This is how I function, And I think that's a wise way to go. But I think that some
Don't try this at home. This is what Leslie does.
Don't try it at home.
This
is what we need more. Cause
the doula does.
Because
do
it's
not
not.
do this at home.
Because is it easy?
Huh?
Because is it easy to do it my way?
No, it's not.
Look, this is the thing. You have to understand.
Let me
She's talking about making placentas into capsules, man, and they consuming it, babies.
Just like she was saying earlier, there's a lot of stuff that's built under systems, man. There are, even with that is like a Western way of a system, So us feeling like that we can't say no to when it's wrong or the connection is dead. So why do we feel like if the connection is not there anymore, why we feel like we have to push and continue to force something that's just not meant to be going on anymore? So why cause that's what's wrong with our generation too now. We just feel like, oh, I want to be in a relationship and I wanted to work, knowing goodness well this man just kicked you, punch you in this and most stuff, and you still wanted to work. Come on, he already showed your true colors and what his worth is and what he think your worth is by what he did to you. So
Exactly.
it's like, why continue that? Why?
Some people like abuse.
I mean, yeah.
In relationships, they do.
But some people only like abuse because this is their way of like, this is what a relationship's supposed to be like. You supposed to stick it through.
We talked about that earlier.
You know what I'm saying?
Leslie told me, she's like,
fight it through to the thick and thin.
Yeah,
like, who
exactly.
said that? Who
Right.
said
Who
you have
said
to?
that?
Right.
Who
You
said
going
that?
you going off what movies say. You going off what your parents say.
That's right.
And then down the line, you try to go off what your parents say. Don't even last. They relationship don't end up lasting long. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you gotta go off what is right with you, your intuition, what you feel, what you know what I'm saying? Somebody can tell you all day long that.
Make a decision for yourself.
You know what I'm saying?
And so how were we talking about it? We were talking about people just all up in your ear, and there was some points you just said. It's so much, right?
Yeah, so a lot.
It's just so much, but really, I think the gist of it is follow your intuition.
Yeah.
And I've met some old people that get into some stuff. Like you were saying, is it the older we get? I think the older you get, the better. I think some of us are like fine wine, but some of us, and you said something about people just like that. I think some people think that they can fix people. They find purpose. Oh, that's what it was. We talked about things that feel like home. People go, I want somebody that feels like home.
Yeah.
Home was not a safe place.
It wasn't a safe place.
So
Where were you
keep this
born? Where were you?
pattern going.
Like she asked me, she's like, where were you born to?
Talking.
Freaking Leslie.
Yeah, talking.
Yeah. And so what is home? When somebody says, I just want to be with somebody that feels like home, I'm like, oh, didn't you just tell me like your mama and daddy used to fight a lot?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God.
So you want that?
Revelation reveals the truth, right? Yeah, another Bob Marley.
Oh
the king. And so what do we want? What do we want? And you can have anything that your heart desires. Like, we are all powerful beings, and we can have whatever our heart desires, and sometimes we don't know how it comes, and we have to be grateful. You were saying you're so grateful. You have to be grateful, like, where you are right now, because it's like, I might have a leaky ceiling, but I have shelter. I am so freaking thankful. And I always looked at the silver lining. When I was married, the floor had the biggest hole, and I almost hurt myself, but at least the child didn't hurt themselves. At least I did it before they came in here. Now I'm going to cover it up. And you can stub your toe on that. You know what I'm saying? So now, what can you give me besides? You know what I'm saying? Can you fix my floor? I'm tired of fixing floors.
All you got to do is talk with them. You know what I'm saying? Talk with
them. You fix floors? No, I can't. We can't.
We're done.
We're done,
you paid to get the floor fixed. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
just
saying?
talk to someone and that's all.
And so, I'm not going to settle. We can't. Why
I feel like we settle sometimes.
Settle too much.
We settle very fast.
For the bare minimum. Like, we gotta stop that.
What happens when we settle? We go through stuff. Yeah. It becomes
it's the
toxic.
same pattern.
We get a new gray hair. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. Gray hair is great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love gray hair. But, it's sexy on some people,
Salt and pepper. Salt and pepper beard.
But I'm just trying to say I ain't against gray hair. And I'm not saying it's wrong. But I'm saying, like, we equate gray hair with stress, but it's also equated with wisdom, right?
With wisdom, yeah.
So there's that. That's what my mind is like thinking, polarities and stuff. And so, what do we want? What do we want? And are you seeing it from this person? Like, you're in one relationship and it goes this way, and then the next relationship, if that starts reminding you of that relationship, get out of it.
You
because
dig?
It's not going to get any better.
Today.
And find out what it is within yourself that is attracting that. What is it within you? That is the only person you can change. And if you're settling, the only person that can change that is you. Do you like settling? Do you like being in this place?
So question.
Yeah,
so what do you think? Cause we talked about this yesterday. So what do you think can break a cycle of like you coming, like you meet women that reminds you of your mom, like that has like similar like traits,
similar
attributes.
Similar
because it's based off what
mom.
you accustomed to, and then you end up not necessarily that's what you looking for. It's just what you appear to attract because that's like what you know. You know what I'm saying? Like a aggressive woman. Like my mom was aggressive. Like she like with the mouth and what she says.
And you're always with aggressive women.
And I'm always with aggressive women, and I don't really like aggressive women like that for real. But in a way, I do, but not to the extreme like where you get disrespectful.
I feel like
and all
we
that.
also bring certain parts of people out of them. So for instance, everybody was in love with my mom, but her and I couldn't sit horses.
Mm.
And I could bring out the worst in her. And so I realized that I had to be, some people say it's the better person, but I realized that the only thing I can do is control myself.
Wow.
And I cannot, and I had to let her off the hook. She's off the hook. I can't go to her for this, that, the other. She's only going to do this, that, the other. And because of that,
If you knew
I
it
would
wasn't
be a
positive, you
fool to
wouldn't
keep
go.
going back
Yeah,
to that.
yeah.
And so I said, you're off the hook. And if she would start talking a certain way, and then I learned through my sisters how to love her correctly. Like, in a way that she could get it. But I didn't get that till I was older. Like, till like just last year, maybe 2 years ago. You know what I mean? And the part about how I saw how they talked to her. I was like, wow.
And she liked it.
She responded better. It was a different response. For me, I would be like, well,
yeah.
because that's how she would do me. But they were in, I'm like, what?
That's it.
And my sisters would go, she would say, well, yeah, I don't like me. And my sister would go, well, no. And we would all just be like, God, why does she do that? And she'd go, well, I guess y'all don't like me. No, we love you, Mom. Like, what? And I'm like, oh, yes, we love you, Mom. So instead of going, well, I mean, you did come in here and just say, like, on the side of your neck, like, you didn't even think about that.
Right.
I'm like trying to correct her. She's like, you're not the mom. I'm like, maybe in another life. and I don't forget. I never forget. And she's like, I can't stand this
So when you're saying you let your mom off the hook, so nothing got to you, whatever she said, pretty much, like you.
Well, it was going to get to me unless I let her off the hook.
Yeah.
Okay, unless you let her off the hook.
So we sometimes think that
you heard
people
that already?
should be.
Right.
You gotta
let it off the hook.
We think that people should be like that 30-minute sitcom mom. Or my friend's parents actually communicate or this or that. I don't know what my mom went through.
Right.
I don't know what she went through.
So you gotta have
to
just
make
compassion.
her the way she is.
Yeah.
And so I had grace for her. And
do you feel like people could only give you what they received? Like your mother received a way of life, so she's giving you that way of life. You received a way of life. Or you know what I'm saying? Like
that's
you could
a good
only
question.
like you could only give what you could like what you received from your parents. Like Raekwon received this, and now he's experiencing it with this.
But
I don't mean to put you under the truck.
I think
raw and authentic, man. Don't never hesitate.
I think if we do the work, we can change the DNA, the molecular structures.
See, that's where I want to
the
get
algorithm,
to. What is the
bro?
work?
We gotta bust that algorithm in half.
What is it? First you have to have an intention.
Yeah.
What is the work? And then you ask, instead of saying, I want to see this, you say, how does it look?
Yeah.
How does it look to be in harmony? How does it look to have a harmonious
relationship? Yeah.
How, and...
That's how.
Because we can.
In Harry Potter, like they need to have the intention, learn the spells, and then the wand is gonna
go do the work.
Yeah, bro. The wand is only the forgot what.
It's only like a controller for real. But if you don't know how to use the controller, you ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, you have to learn. Like you have to have the intentions, learn the spell, and now this is like it just transmits. Like it's the transmitter pretty much. Like the wand is not everything. It's about literally intentions, learning those intentions, and now putting them into play. And I felt like Harry Potter was like that, but a lot because I made wands, you know what I'm saying? And people thought, okay, if they had the wands, they're gonna turn their husbands into frogs or something. That wasn't the case, but it's like in Harry Potter, it's deeper than the wand. Like it all starts like within you first.
And I'll tell you something. Remember when I told you earlier that God is a jealous God and I belong to
You,
God?
you said that, yeah.
That I cannot be just in any relationship because I will stay. I will stick it out. I'm a stayer. I'm like, okay, you gotta be with me. All right, well, we'll settle it, what, a year from now, 2 years from now? I don't know, but I'm here. I'm staying. I'll take it. And God says, no, you won't. I will remove anything out of your life because you have purpose.
I say. Then you just start seeing all the craziness, like just some mad scenario just happening to where like y'all gotta separate.
You have to, or you're gonna be sick. You're gonna.
And you just be like, why is this going on right now?
Don't you want peace? I want peace. I want peace in my life. I want sanctity.
But I want love too.
Love. And then I found out in giving grace to my mom that I also deserve grace for myself.
I say.
I deserve the love that I keep trying for everyone to understand. I'm like, do I even understand my love? What? I kept saying, I want to meet me. And something kept saying, look in them. Like you would walk and not even realize you're walking past a mirror. And then one day you say, I just want to meet.
Oh, there I am.
Oh, there I am. And I merged with myself. And that's Tantra, Tantra. And you merge with yourself. You find that connection with masculine and feminine amongst yourself before you can do that with anybody else. And it's not going to happen in a day. We kept talking earlier about the steps. I always wanted to jump all the way down the steps, and I'd hurt myself and fumble and fall, and that's like a swirly step, and I'm like trying to get all the way to the bottom, and I'm like breaking limbs and stuff, right?
Yeah, trying to get to the bottom.
But instead I started going, I need to take one step at a time. My dad would always say, you want everything right now. Calm down.
You said that.
Calm down. And so I am no way immune to human experience. And I have human experiences, but I'm like, I need to take steps, don't it? Okay, all right. And then I just sit back and enjoy myself. Like I realized I was in my house for 4 days, enjoying myself. I'm like, what book do I need to read now? And then I went, it used to make me cry. It used to make me panic. I've been in the house 4 days and no one's checked on me. I'm like, why are you calling me? I'm reading.
Yeah.
Knowing how to be still, like still in your.
Still, like I've got so much to keep
We spoke
me
about
busy
that with
now.
Eternal.
I am so
Knowing
cool
how to be
right
still.
now. Yo, I'm so good right now. Like, okay,
How can
you
people
wanna
find
come,
you? How can people find
cool.
you? They can find you on Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram. I've got 2 Facebook pages and a business Facebook page. I've got a website, lesliecuffy.com. I've got a Google Connect. Just Google my name, Leslie Cuffy, Leslie C.
That has your
Cuffy.
number and everything too?
My number, everything.
Right there. She Googleable.
I'm
Google
Googleable.
it. Do it.
All right, and then one more time, your prices?
I'm charging $1,000 right now.
$1,000.
Yeah.
$1,000.
Yeah.
All right, and then the down payment?
And I also do Reiki. I do hypnotherapy.
Reiki, hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy it's super important. Highly recommendable. I did hypnotherapy, and it really helps.
Yeah.
Get that thing done for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could get the free download on YouTube. It's for men and women.
Be careful on YouTube. And I'm gonna tell you why, because I had such a good experience with hypnotherapy at Edgar Casey. So I went in to help.
Edgar Casey Center, 67th Street.
Yeah.
Virginia Beach.
Yeah. So I went there and I was helping out, and I allowed these students to do hypnotherapy on me. And the one lady was like, I had a hypnobirth. Aren't you a hypno doula? And I said, yes, I am. She goes, you're mine. Come on. So we go and she does this thing, and throughout these different lives, I said, I need purpose. I need to feel my worth, and I need to feel that I'm, blah, 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 blah. And so we go through, and she's like, what color are your feet, what color shoes do you have on? What do you see? And I was like, my parents, and they kind of look like,
Right.
What? And here
Right.
goes Egyptian stuff and all this stuff. And I go through, she goes, okay, next place, where are you? And I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, who's with you? And I'm like, this person. I think, she's like, who are they to you? I said, I think that's my mom. I think that she looks like my sister here, but I think she was my mom,
Right.
Now. And so going through this, and then through each stage, the lady was saying, I kept hearing, you are a queen, you are a queen, you are a queen. So when I came out, she bowed and she said, don't ever forget, you are a queen. And so it was an amazing experience. I healed a lifetime of trauma. And I wanted that again, so I went home and YouTubed. And when I pulled something up on YouTube, it was Joe Dispenza, which is a very popular person, right? Very popular man in the industry. Somebody put subliminals behind his work. And so I kept seeing somebody cutting my throat.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, this must be some stuff I'm dealing with. And it kept going and going, and it took me years to get that out of my head. So read, if you're gonna do a YouTube one, you probably did a subscription because you're wise and you do things the right way.
Yeah.
But subscriptions are great. But if you just pull off a subscription as is something that you pay into or buy into, but if just going to a random video, clicking on it, putting it on your headset, make sure you read the comments, because when I went to read the comments, everybody was saying, what kind of horror show is this? It was subliminals behind it. So be sure to read the comments before you do anything that has to do
Also,
with
the hypnobirthing, like you can't do it operating a vehicle, you can't do it like while standing, and they give you all these different instructions.
And
you
if
want
you're
to do
in
it
the
in a
special
calm
services, you may not be able to have it playing.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I had some people in special services that were not allowed to
So
have
with
it
the
playing.
$1,000 that you're saying right now, like we're about to wrap up. For the $1,000 that you're saying right now, what does that get the client?
Access to me, and so the 36 weeks meeting, which lasts between 1 and 3 hours, we go over comfort measures, we go over when to call me, timing contractions, how to listen to hold space for one another, not just her, but it's each other, and then we for this birthing experience, and we when it's time, maybe it's time that you're in labor, maybe you're not in labor, like you spoke of earlier.
Yeah.
I'm there so you don't rush to the birthing space, so you feel, you can be acknowledged and say, okay, well, that wasn't quite what we need for labor, the real thing, we have some more days to rest. So I'm there to reassure you, reassurance and all of those things. And then when labor does come, I'm there with the duration of the labor, the delivery. I have a backup in case I need it.
You have a backup person.
Yeah, I have backup people.
Nice.
Yep,
Nice.
yep.
Sometimes you do also like you're teamed up with the midwife too, like.
That's a whole nother story.
That's a whole nother story, right? Like like my thing was with the midwife. Like I had.
Oh, we had a good relationship.
Yeah, that was a good. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a very good. She trusts me and I trust her, and she's phenomenal.
She's super phenomenal. What was her name?
Zaina.
Zainab. Mm-hmm. Oh man, she's amazing.
Zaina, she and her husband was an energy worker, or is an energy worker, and so, so yeah, I'm with you for the duration of the birth, and then up to 2 hours after the birth, and then for 24 hours a day for the next 2 weeks postpartum, I'm on call for you. So if you need
Yo,
me,
that
you call
postpartum
me or
is
not.
real.
Man, go get checked. Hey, you think you don't got that? Hey, go get checked, man.
Oh,
Make sure you get
postpartum.
checked.
And so that's why people are doing the placenta encapsulation. That's the two.
It helps with.
It helps with the possible.
Yes, man. That's why.
Hey, look, yo. You can eat. What do you eat? The placenta. You can eat the placenta to help with your postpartum, so you can be happy. Goddamn.
It's real though.
It's real. It's real, and we gotta take it as real.
Some people look at it like it's like, God, I'm gonna eat my own placenta.
Some people look at breast milk like, breast milk. And I'm like, your body
Right.
makes both.
Yeah, the baby
Body
eats off
makes
of it.
both.
The baby eats through that. Like,
You can taste it if you want to. Go ahead.
so yeah,
So
Leslie.
the pills are so you don't have to taste it, So,
Wow.
yeah.
Hold on, y'all got pills for the milk?
No,
Huh?
no, just for the
Right.
placenta.
All right.
When they
And
make
the mother
placenta.
takes them, not the baby.
Right.
And I have to say that because I actually did walk into and when a woman said, how many do I give my baby? And I went, oh my God, they're not for the baby. Not
They're
in
for
that
you.
way. They're
Yeah,
for you to
yeah.
take. Yeah. That
For
was,
the mother to consume, man.
Yeah, that
and
was
it
really
helps with the
interesting.
postpartum. It also helps with the breast milking as well. Like it helps with breastfeeding. You know, like that's super important.
breast milk production. all
But I
that.
mean, I don't think
Do your
like,
research. I say do your research. Don't ask me any questions. Do your research, and then if you want it, come to me and I can do it. Because I think it's best that you do your own research. I'm not going to tell you and make claims because I can't
exactly.
by law. I can't make a whole bunch of claims, but I can say that women are coming to me saying it works, and I see it working, and so I went ahead and started doing the business.
Yo, so
Look.
Ray, I'm giving you this This is the Abu Misk. I never gave you the box,
Hold on,
bro.
man.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta lace my boy. This is Abu Misk from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hold on, man.
Look us up on IG. It's Abu Misk Parfums. We do mobile deliveries when we're ever in any area. Leslie has all my pheromones. She has all the pheromones on, dude. She has all the pheromones. She came in
Yo.
super happy, yo.
I get y'all a box, man.
Oh my God,
God.
get you a box. I'm about to
I'm like,
leave
here's
tomorrow
the
around like 9, 10 o'clock.
I'm like giddy and laughing.
Leslie's
Yo.
like, I don't know about these pheromones. I'm like, listen to me, Leslie.
Man,
You
this
need
was
some
like Christmas
pheromones in
today.
your life. So I put you pheromones too, my guy. So you got Jamil got pheromones, and then Bond 9. Bond 9 is really nice. And
Get
I'm
you
just
some
gonna
Bond
drop
9,
it.
man.
I
You
dropped
gonna smell
some
it on me.
pheromones. Yeah, Bond 9 amethyst. And then I also gave him.
I got that one too.
Oh,
I
yeah.
gave him the
Yeah.
OG, which is El Sheikh. This was our first oil that we had.
Shit.
Yeah, El Sheikh, first oil that we had. We sold for about a year and a half.
Pheromones make my cheeks red.
Look at that, dude. Get your pheromones with Abu Misk.
That
Get
means
your
they good.
pheromones.
Yes.
It's- okay.
It's the
Here, go
real
ahead.
deal.
Try
That
the-
is some
try the
powerful,
El Sheikh.
powerful stuff right
And then
there.
Leslie,
Man.
I knew you wanted the
I
golden dust.
appreciate this,
Oh
man.
my
And then the
God.
Gucci floral. I mean, I know I gave you like 5 small bottles today, but
Oh
you
my
good.
God.
You good.
I know.
Look at that, look at
like,
that.
oh.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you the golden dust and then the Gucci floor. And then you got the
Thank you.
small one. You could put it in here, like you know your travel. You like you're gonna go travel. You got your travel box. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Hey,
It's
we
on
turn it
now.
up.
Raekwon's
We
like, it's
turn-
on
we-
now.
We turn it up 2023, cuz y'all know what. Hey, look.
And then, oh my gosh.
They ain't gonna know what hit 'em.
Yo, that sea moss is good. Yeah,
Yeah.
sea moss is so good.
How did I
Yo.
open
I
that?
got you.
Yeah.
Gosh, man.
So tell it. Oh my gosh. So thank you.
Love you, man. We go way back.
You're welcome.
All right. let me
Christmas
try.
in June. I thought I'd never see the
That sea
day.
moss is too good. You just finish it while you just sitting down. Like
I like mine
Ain't the
real cold. It
consistency
gotta be real
good?
cold.
that consistency is wild, bro.
I'm gonna eat that. If I eat too much of this, I'm gonna be up all night. I'm not
Right,
doing
bouncing
that.
off
Y'all not
walls.
getting me.
She looking at the TV like,
And this, I've been with this product for years. I get the black.
He has the black
Black
seed
seed,
too,
yeah.
yo. The black seed oil, bro.
mhm.
He has a lot of different products.
Oh my God, yeah, superior products.
Yeah. His products are amazing, man. They're all over the city.
All over the city at all the cultural shops.
Yeah.
Every last
Yeah.
one of them. You got E&M Barber Lounge and and Authentically Me. You got Positive Vibes, Conscious Planet.
Conscious Planet, yeah.
Where else?
House of Consciousness.
Ah,
Yeah, he also has it there in House of Consciousness. And then there's another place in Hampton where Pomoja and Wambi have their stuff. And also probably they also most likely he has his stuff there. I forgot what the place is called. I don't go to Hampton much. I gotta show love in Hampton. Like I'm always in Norfolk. I gotta go kick it in Hampton
I wonder if
for a weekend and just stay
You
there.
talking about Shata or Shashamani, or you talking about
Maybe Shashamani, I'm not
or
sure.
Pure Culture,
It's where
Culture
Pomoja.
Towers. I don't know where they're at right now.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
in Hampton,
yeah.
yeah.
We're gonna host them for sure. We're gonna most likely host them. Yeah, we're hosting the whole family in the 757. Like,
Nice.
you
Yeah.
dig? We
you know,
bringing
just the
everybody and
vibe, honestly.
anybody.
Like it's
Yeah.
more of a
Only
vibe.
vibes, yeah, vibes.
Yeah, like good
Vibe.
vibes. You know, you tell us
Oh.
what you do and who you are. You know, you give out your number, your information, and you know, like if people are watching the show and they were thinking of doing a home birth, now they'll be like, wow, okay, I got some good pointers. You know,
Yeah, I've
like
got resources for you.
Exactly.
You need resources, call me.
exactly.
You need to, there's Hampton Rose Midwife Directory. You can look that up. Some of the places that are more midwifery model of care would be in the hospital setting. One place is Women's Care Center, and they work out of Centera Lee. Then you have Careplex in Hampton. They have several midwives there. Great women. They're trying to get some of the protocols changed so it can be more healthy for women and so on. So give them some time and space.
Just one more
there.
question. Did you feel
Yeah.
like doing it, like having procedures in the hospital and then also having procedures at home, like the women felt more comfortable at home versus hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah, at home.
Yeah.
Because you're in your
prefer
space,
home
right?
birth.
You prefer
I
the
attend
home
a lot
birth?
of hospital births, and I see a lot of things that are very traumatic to me.
I know.
To witness.
I be calling you like, man, I'm just going through something right now at this hospital. Let me call
Going
you
through
right
something.
back.
Just gonna ask him, going through something.
For real, man. Like, yo, I'm going through something right now, bro. They about to take her placenta. They're about to they're about to boom. I'll call you back.
Yeah.
Today.
So, but you know, when you're in your own environment, like when Vanessa was in her, like, she was so relaxed. Like,
That is the way I picture birth to be.
a relaxing.
Yeah, and when things slowed down, we honored that. When things sped up, we honored that. There was nothing to be fixed. The only thing that needed to be changed sometimes is the environment. And at home, we were able to do that. Stop so much sage, get her out of the tub because it's, you know, slowed everything down. And she just went with anything I said. Like, you both were like, Leslie said, and cut it. And I went with whatever y'all said. Y'all were like, ooh, we want to get in the tub. Okay, get in the tub. Ooh, we feel like we could need support here. Then you got support there. Like, it was a mutual flow. It really, nothing even had to be said.
Exactly.
A lot, you know? And it was like, okay, this is the way it's going. And nobody was saying, don't do that. Don't do this. Why are you doing that? That wasn't the time or place for it. You had none of that there. It was, you knew what you wanted. You hired the right people. You put all the right people in place. You were like,
Right.
no, that person doesn't know what she's talking about. This is my child coming
Right.
here.
Yeah.
This is who we're hiring.
Exactly.
And Vanessa was like, yes, Daddy.
Get out of here. Listen to me live right now. Is she funny? Oh, Leslie.
This is those pheromones.
Oh my God, the pheromones. I'm gonna stop giving her pheromones. Oh my God.
Pheromones.
But it was all in all a great experience. And yes, I do see a lot of traumatic stuff in the hospital.
At the hospitals.
I do. And you got to think that these people are all on different pages that are on the same page in a lot of good ways. But they're not like home birth minded. They don't agree. Maybe some of them don't agree with home birth. And so, you know, it's like if you want dual care, the one that you need to be the most honest with is your home birth midwife because she has the most to lose. So dual care is keeping your OBGYN still going to them just in case you can change your mind at the last minute. But if they find out, they want to cut you. Like, you can't come here because somebody else could be in your spot and you don't even want to be here. You don't even know what you want.
Yeah.
I'm like, we want options is all. We want options. We want autonomy. We need autonomy. This is our body, our baby, our birth. And we have the worst rates and outcomes in the whole industrialized world. Right here in America is worse than some third world countries in giving birth. And we spend the most money, and it's, you know.
We don't. That is crazy.
But in other countries where they have better outcomes, the difference is they all have midwives and like home births and things like that.
Everybody happy.
Everybody's happy.
Leslie, do you have anything else to say to
Sick people belong in a hospital, but sick people
belong in a hospital.
Sick people belong in a hospital, but well people should not. It's like what I see is well people going in and coming out broken, or not at all. Oof. And the ones that are dying at the most alarming rate are educated Black women. And people go, well, how do we fix that Medicaid? And I said, let me remind you, it's educated Black women that can afford your care are the ones dying. Systemically, we are killing educated Black women. Get your education on home birth. There's a video called Why Not Home, and it's people that are in the establishment that have home births, like doctors, and you know, they're saying, why not home? Why not? And they're even saying, like, here we were not disturbed. Here there was no problems to be fixed. So I think everything has its place. Let's work together and give people choices and get back to the midwifery model of care, because they're starting to shut down OB units all across the country. And now we've got people that have to drive hours to get to a hospital right here in the United States. We need to do better. But in so many of us, we give ourselves over to the establishment. You walk through the door, you put on their whatever, they tell you, get in the bed, you get in the bed, but my clients are going in and going, no, I want to stand up, I want to move around. It feels right to do that.
And sometimes you gotta fight that with them.
And sometimes you're supported as long as you have that. But so what I would like to say is research, do your research.
Please,
Do
research.
your research. And
before you get into anything.
and review this and reach out if you need any. On my website, there's a link for what is it called? Resources. So there's a resource link there. If you don't find it there, ask me. Send me a message.
Nice.
I saw the podcast. Let me know you saw it here. Let me know.
You did. Give
Let
us some
us
feedback.
know.
Let us know what you think.
Yes,
Comment.
please.
Any questions, anything like that, let us know. Leslie will be willing to take any of your calls. No more than like 5 minutes. Don't try to take like a half an hour to an hour, but she'll be charging, cuz.
We ain't got all day.
Nah, like
There
I
you
think that's very helpful. That's
Okay,
very, very
thanks.
helpful. Close us out, Ray. Close us out so we can
Yeah,
get up out of
Yeah.
here.
So again, I
It's been
appreciate
great.
you. It's
Thank
been
you
real.
so much.
Oh, gratitude.
Been real. Been
Oh,
real.
gratitude. So
Been
I gotta
real.
give you a hug. Leslie. Gratitude, dude.
Been
Oh my
real.
God,
This
the
is-
mother of
Love
the
you.
universe.
This is the Third Out 5,
Oh
just
my
about
God.
audio
Mm.
podcast.
Real.
And we're going
Please.
to do this again. We
Yeah.
shall do this again. Hopefully it'll be a part 2.
Oh, I'm so honored to be
Always
on
to
the
be
show.
continued.
Like three days in a row. This
You
is
Only-
crazy.
only Yusuf.
I got 3 days.
This the Yusuf special.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Crazy,
Yusuf special.
you got it.
All
You
weekend,
got it.
cuz.
All weekend,
Doing
bro.
so good.
All you gotta do is just do it. Everybody stay positive. You know what I'm saying? New month. It's June.
We'll also tag
Going into
Leslie in her
summertime.
information. That way y'all could check her out.
And
You know?
Abu
Yeah.
We'll tag
Moss.
Abu Misk as well.
Yeah,
And we'll tag also the brother that makes the sea moss.
you did.
That's for sure. We'll tag him. That way you guys could like ask us any questions, anything about the oil sea moss, Leslie.
And that's
Much
the,
blessings.
And that's the
Be
Third
safe
Out 5
out
Just
here.
Survive audio podcast. Y'all be easy. Love.